Hello everyone and welcome back to Comic 47 Vlogs, and we're going to be looking at DC um, compact comics. So this is the size of each comic. I have most of them. There's some that I don't have, like I'm missing Watchmen, for example, and then the Joker miniseries. But I have most of them. So I wanted to talk about them for a bit and tell you what these are and what's so appealing about them and why I think that you should check them out and why you should get at least one of them. So, DC Compact Comics is something more recent that DC has done where they take an already established story and they condense it into this small format, and it's you can call it like pocket size, pretty much. I mean, if you want to see, like, here's my face. You can't fit this in a pocket, but you could definitely fit it like in your purse or backpack or something like that. um it's interesting, and the really big appeal here is that they're $10. Like, that's a steal, and it has a full story, or if not, it has like volume one or like half of a story. But that's really really good. I mean, you get the entirety of Batman Hush, for $10. Like, it's 10 US dollars. It's right here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, they're $10 each. All of these, no matter the story, are $10 each, right? And they look super cool in your bookshelf. Like, this is how it looks like when I put it in my bookshelf. You know, it has like different colors. I think this is one of my favorites, the Harley Quinn one. It just looks really nice. So these are stories that were either famous in DC, very well received, or they were well received enough to be able to get their own story. Some of them you can tell that they're like stories that were kind of famous, but DC wants to like really get you to read them a little bit more. And some of them are stories that were very famous that are like that enough time has passed where DC needs a new way to sell these stories. Um, yeah, usually anytime a place puts something on discount is because enough time has passed that they've already made all of their main sales, so now they discount it, right? Or just there's not as much of an interest anymore, or etc. etc. In this case, I think DC did a really good thing in appealing to new readers and appealing to people who are on a budget, because let's face it, a lot of us do not have the money to be buying things willy-nilly. I know I buy a lot of comics, but it's still expensive for me. Like, I have to save, and I have to make sure not to spend a lot on my daily things. I just like comics so much that for me it's worth buying comics on a weekly basis. Luckily, my store gives me a 15% discount for all the new comics, and they have a discount for all of the new books as well. And depending on your local comic store, they might have like 50% off on weekends, for example, on all books, or they might have like 30% off every day, or 20% off, or something like that. So I did get these discounted too, like, so these were even cheaper for me. So these are really, really good for me personally because there are stories that I've always wanted to read that I just never got a chance to. And this is the full story, y'all. Like, this is the full all-star Superman story. Like, one of the greatest, most well-received Superman stories of all time. I've seen the movie. I know what the story's about, but I haven't actually read it. You know what I mean? It's not the same. Like, I need to actually sit down and read this story because I've never actually read it. I know what it's about, but it's different reading the comic than reading the movie. So, like, you have the full story. And yes, the paper is printed a little bit cheaper. Like, I think nowadays it's almost impossible to find anything printed in this type of paper, but like, don't get me wrong, this is still really good quality paper. It's just slightly less glossy, slightly less shiny. I mean, you can tell that it's like, kind of an older looking paper. Um, but yeah, I mean that's it's the whole story. Like it puts it all for you. It's just at a smaller format now. Um, maybe if you're somebody who needs like reading glasses to read, or you can't really look at small text that much, that might be an issue. Um, then I would say you could get the regular sized one. I think, like, for example, to give you context on the differences in the prices, when you get a paperback, like a regular sized one, this is about like 18 or $20 usually, like a regular paperback. Some of them nowadays are like $25 if the story's a little bit bigger. So it's like between 20 and $25. This is $10. So it's like half the price for the full story. So which one is the best deal? In my opinion, it's Wonder Woman Earth 1. And you can see this is the bulk of this is a little thicker. Let's put it like on top. You can ignoring that the cover is kind of out. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's a little bit thicker, this one. This one, Wonder Woman Earth 1, if I'm not wrong, is a series of graphic novels that were printed in 3 volumes, so volume 1, 2, and 3. This has the complete 3 volumes for $10. I think it's like $30. No, it's more than that. For the full, like, if you want to get all 3 volumes, like, on a regular size, I'm guessing it's like $15-$20 for each volume. And you get all 3 volumes for $10. Like, this is the one that got me sold on the idea, because I've always wanted to read Wonder Woman Earth 1. I've been interested in Batman Earth 1 as well, but mostly Wonder Woman. I've always wanted to read this one. And I feel like this was a good excuse for me to finally get it. You know what I mean? To finally get this book. Sadly, I still haven't read it yet. I don't know why. I do this thing where I have a book and I'm just like, okay, I'll read it next time, or I'll read it in a sec, I'll read it in a bit, and then I kind of procrastinate it and I end up just not doing it. So I will read this when I get a chance. No, not when I get a chance. I'm gonna read it this week. I'm gonna at least start it this week. No more excuses. Yeah, this is the best deal in my opinion. This is 3 full volumes in one for $10. Yeah, and it also gives me a chance to like try out new books and new series without feeling like I spent so much money for a series I may not like. You know what I mean? That's kind of why. For example, that happened to me with Green Lantern Far Sector. I've always been interested in it. This is a new Green Lantern. I believe she's canonically a lesbian, right? I don't know if she's bisexual or lesbian, but I do know that she's sapphic at least. Um, and I've been interested in this character. I think she's kind of a more detective kind of Green Lantern, but I've always been like on and off um, wanting to read this book. Kind of yes, kind of no. And I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to read it? Do I not? I know she's not like the most well-received character. I think a lot of people just kind of saw her and sort of ignored the series. Um, so I don't know. I've been interested to read this. Again, $10 for the full series, not bad. So I give it a chance. Um, American Vampire. This is book 1 though. You see, this one doesn't have like the entire series, but I think this is such a big arc that I don't think they can fit it all in one book. So it was written by Scott Snyder. I think this was originally published as Vertigo, DC Vertigo comics, and Vertigo used to be a line of comics that DC sort of co-published um, to appeal to like adult, more of an adult audience, and it was kind of like indie comics but more adult oriented, and it has like a bit of DC aspects to it, but not quite. For example, Swamp Thing, Sandman, Constantine. I think all these kind of characters that were sort of part of DC, sort of not. Um, and I believe originally there was a lot of characters that originated in Vertigo comics and then later just got more pulled into the main DC universe because I think the Vertigo titles weren't doing well after a while. Anyways, this was, to my knowledge, a Vertigo comics title series. And I've heard it's really good. I've heard good things about it. So that's good. Like, I'd be willing to pay $10 to see if I like it. And if I don't like it, I don't feel bad. And I can always just hand it to someone or just resell it back to the shop or donate it or, I never like to throw books away. I just don't. Books are very special to me. I really try to treat my books well. I try to, like, make sure that if I'm gonna donate a book, that it will be to someone who will actually read it. Sometimes I do just donate it to a regular place and hope they read it, but um, if I know someone's gonna read it or like something like that, I would just um, look for that specific person. Anyways, I'm going off topic. This is $10 as well. They also released the full Watchmen book, and Watchmen is a very, very famous title, one of DC's most all-time famous comic books ever, written in the 1980s. They also have that one, and they also have this like Joker miniseries, but it's a bit thinner. It's like a very slim one, same price and everything. Um, I wasn't that interested in that one. But yeah, and they also, so yeah, they have Batman Hush, the entirety of Batman Hush. Actually, now's a really good time to buy it because they're making the sequel comic for Batman Hush. That's why I got it. Um, because I'm like, yeah, I remember reading Hush back in the day, and I don't have the graphic novel currently, so $10 is pretty good to catch up on it. And the latest one that I got was Harley Quinn, and the Gotham City Sirens, and I think this series was about 2008, 2009. If I'm not wrong. And what really caught my eye were two things, actually three things. One, it's the Gotham City Sirens, right? I love like whenever they're in a series or book together, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. Like, yes, give me more of that. That's the first thing that caught my attention. The second is that it was written by Paul Dini, who worked on Batman the Animated Series. He did the Zatanna comic book series. And then a third thing that caught my eye was Guillaume March, who's a Spanish artist. I think he's a Spanish artist, if I'm not wrong. I think he's from Spain. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's a very good artist, and right now he's gotten a lot of attention from DC, especially when he started working on the introduction to Punchline, which was the new DC character that they added a while back. And lately he's garnered a lot of attention. I think nowadays he's been sort of getting a little less attention, but I really appreciate his art. Um, and his artwork is phenomenal. I just love the way he draws women. I think it's very fun. And you can tell his art style was a bit different at the time. Um, and it has like this old inking style. Not old, but like, 2000, kind of mid 2000s style. Look how beautiful the artwork is. I don't know. It feels very like I feel like there's a story to his panels. Like, look at this panel. Tell me this is not like dynamic and has some story to it. You know what I mean? I feel like he's very good at conveying emotion and storytelling in his art. And this is like a really fun series. I think it's a 9-issue miniseries of 13 issues. 13 issues for $10. Usually, so DC usually prints their paperbacks in like 6-issue, a series of 6 issues. So like, volume 1 would be issues 1 through 6. Volume 2 would be issues 6 through 12. DC printed all 13 for $10 in this one thing. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to make a video on the DC Compact series for a while, but I don't know, I never got to it. Yeah. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's an interesting idea? Do you like it? Have you gotten any of these? DC has, and they, to my understanding, I think they've been successful with it because they keep putting more of them out there. At first, it was just like, I think it was just like these originally, and then they went out with a new wave of them, and then now they're gonna put out a new wave of them, which is interesting. It's a good way to get people to read stories they haven't read. It's engaging for old readers and new readers alike. I think it's one of the best ideas DC has had in a long time. I just hope that they pay the writers and artists fairly for this. Um, And yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. And I think the way they're able to make it so cheap is because these stories have already been out for a while. So it's like kind of getting an extra bit of cash for something that's already been out there. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it kind of benefits both the client and DC. Um, yeah, very interesting. To me, this is the best deal. This is also one of the best deals. Really good stuff. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you. This is the only one that's white. This is the only one that has a white color on the edges for some reason. Everything else is. Um, I'll give you a quick view actually. I'll give you a quick view of the front and back here of each one before I end this video. DC Far Sector and American Vampire Volume 1, Batman Hush, and Gotham City Sirens. Anyways, with that being said, leave a comment on what you want me to review next. Any particular story? Do you want me to review more graphic novels? Yeah, just, I don't know. Yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.